Hey, hi guys, this is Nitin Pawar. Welcome to my channel. So, in this video, we'll try to deploy the Azure Data Factory and we'll see that how we can copy the files from one place to another using the Azure Data Factory. So, for that, we need the storage account. So, I have already created the storage account. So how to create the storage account, how to create the containers and the file system under that. You can watch my previous video. In that I have in detailed way I have explained how to create the directory and the storage account. So in this video we'll try to create the Azure Data Factory. So in the search, while you log into your Azure portal, just search for Data Factory. So you can see the Data Factory option. As you can see that no resources created for this data factory, so click on the create data factory. So once you clicked on that, it will ask you for the subscription, so you need to provide the subscription. If you don't have any resource group, you can create the new resource group, or if you have already created resource group, you can select that. So my resource group was already there, so I'm selecting that. Then you have to provide the name for that Azure Data Factory. In this case, I'm providing this name. Remember that all the names should be lowercase and the numbers only. In the region, you have to select the region where you want to deploy this resource, and the version you have to select the V2 is the latest version. Then you can either configure the Git configurations, or you can provide it as Azure DevOps like repository type, or you can say that you will configure Git later. Okay, go to the next networking. You want to access, how you want to connect it. We can connect it via public endpoints. In advance, if you want to use the encryption and other things, then you can select those, but meanwhile I'm just keeping it as default. Clicked on review and create. So validation is passed. Now clicked on create, so it will deploy your Azure Data Factory.
क्या गड़बड़ कर दो
You can say that deployment is in progress. It will take time to deploy the resources, so we'll wait till. Okay, now deployment is completed. You can go to that resource group, particular resource. Now you can see that ADF resource is created. Here you can click on the open Azure Data Factory Studio, so it will open new tab for you. Just wait till it opened it. So this is how your default ADF will look like when you open it. So this is the home page. Now you see the pencil icon. It's an author icon. Over here you can create the pipeline, dataset, your link service, and all the things. So this is how your default structure for ADF looks like. Now you have ADF is deployed, and you can use it as you go. So in this tutorial, as I mentioned previously, we have to use that copy data. Means we have to copy the data from one folder to the another folders, and we can check that. Let me try to create the files and other things over there in the blob storage. So in pipeline, You click it over here, you can see that you can create a new pipeline. Either way, you can define your names, what name you want to give on over there. So I'll just keep it as pipeline one, but you can whatever as feasible or the project standard, you can give the pipeline name as that. So this is the pipeline. Click over here, so that pop-up will gone. So this is your default pipeline will look like. So in the activities, I just mentioned that we want to do the copy activity. So you can drag it and put it over here, so that you can see that your copy activity is present over there. For copy activity, we need to have the source, we need it, sync means target. We need to have source and we need to have the target locations for that. So if you go to the source, okay, here it will ask you that select the data set. If you have already created data set, then in the drop down that will appear over here. But if you don't have any data set, then you can create that data set. Data set is nothing but where that is pointing to which data. That, so I'll click on the new. So in the new, you will see that number of source options. What are the source, like what type of source is this? Is this the Amazon Marketplace web services, or is coming from the SQL, or is coming from the Oracle, or is Impala, or the Blob storage, or Cosmos DB, or the SQLDB API, all the things that you can search it over there. So in this case, what I want to do is that I want to select a source which is coming from the HTTP. Okay, so I'll try to search here by the HTTP. So select that, click on the continue. Now, what kind of format you want? You want binary format, you want Avro format, or you want Excel, JSON, ORC, the XML or Parquet. In this case, I want that delimited text, CSV format. So I clicked on that. I clicked next options over there. So here it is asking for the name and the link services. Okay. So here, if that already link service is not created, so you can create the new link services. So in this case, I don't have any link services created. So clicked on the new. So as we mentioned, our source is HTTP. We need to provide that how you want to connect it, what kind of name you want to give onto that HTTP service, and the base URL for that particular link services. So in this case, I'll provide like delimited text one description. You can provide it like what kind of data, or like in this short form, how to describe that data. In the base URL, you need to provide the URL from which your data is coming. So in this case, I have one URL. So over there, that movies data is there. Okay. Server connections, you want to enable it or you want to disable all other things. Authentication type, you want to select the basics or other things. In this case, I want to select the anonymous. Okay. So in anonymous, if you select that, it won't ask you for any other things like username, password, and other things. And then you can create your link services. Once you clicked on the create, so now you see that your link services and name. Okay, I need to, what I can do. Okay, it's already taken. I can change the name of here or keep it both the same as it is. It's depend on you how you want to. Suppose In name, I just give you one, two, so that I can differentiate that what is the link name service and the name. Okay. Here, if you clicked on this, so what will happen? You have that CSV file. The first row it will consider as a header. Okay. And import schema, you want to import the schema from the connection store or the file itself or none. That option, it depends on you how you want to select that, whether you want to import from the connections or you want to explicitly mention it. So in this case, like my file is already having that connection store, so I'll say that connection store. So if you select that, it will ask you for the request method, what kind of method you want, get or post. So in get, I want to have that import schema. It will ask you like it's additional header or request body. If you have those details with you, then it's fine. Or else, if you don't have those details, you can just directly go and creating the new, clicked on OK, so that it will create the data set for you. Okay. So this is how your sources got created. Then you need to see the target. Target is nothing but the sink. Again, if you don't have the data set, so right now if you show that we already have created the source, so that comes here, but we want to use the different data set for the target. So we can click on the new. Again, like what kind of format or where you want to put. Previously our source was the HTTP. But in this case, I want to use the Azure Blob Storage. If that option is not available, you can search that also. So you can see that Azure Data Lake Storage, then to click on it, continue. Again, over there, which kind of format you want that, either you want in the CSV or binary or delimited text, that you can. So in this case, I want CSV. So in the name, this is ADLS Gen 2. In the link service, again, I am creating the new one. And the new one, I have to provide the name, descriptions, how you want to connect to that data store. So here, if you see that file system directory, let me just show you. Auto resolve disconnection time. So here, if you see it, we have the storage account name. It is asking for the storage account name. If you know that previously we have already created a storage account, if I click on here, I can see that storage account name. So select that storage account name. Okay. And then just hit on create, so that it will create your sync dataset. Let's wait. So now you can see that it's successfully created. So we have this link services, we have the name. If you explicitly want to provide the file path, you can provide that over here. So if you know that in our storage account we already have a folder, okay, output, so that we can provide that. So here we have the data, and under the data we have that output file name present over there. I'll show you in shortly. So here in output, Again, we want first row as header. If you want that, you can enable that options. And again, import schema, you want it from your connection store. Okay, now click OK. So now you have source dataset, you have target dataset. Now you just have to validate that pipeline. So your pipeline has been validated. If no errors are shown, it means everything is okay. Now close it. Now before running it, firstly you need to publish that pipeline. Without publishing it, there are two ways. One is debug. Using this you can run it, or if you want others to run it, then you need to publish those pipelines. So you can see that pipeline name one. You see the our source and target data sets are there, and link services is there. Click on publish. Wait till it get published. So you see that now it is published. This pipeline is published. Now we can run this pipeline. So how you run it? You just set trigger now. As we don't have provided any specific columns, we can just click on OK. Now you can see that successfully running the pipeline. So if you go over here to your hotel.azure.com, okay. So here, as I mentioned, we have already created the data store. Storage account is there, and under that storage account, we have the containers data. In data, we have that output and logs. So currently, you can see that 9622 558. Already a file has been populated. Previously, it was empty. You can see that it succeeded. You can go to the monitor. In monitor, you can see that pipeline run is there. So you see pipeline got run success. And here, if you see the option, we can see that consumptions, what is consumed, run ID, and other things. Close it. The runtime, start date, end date, how much time it would take. Is there any error? No errors. Parameters, we don't provide any parameters over there. So we just go to that output file, clicked over here, and you can edit. Now you can check that that file was populated over here from HTTP to our blob storage. So this is how in Azure Data Factory you created a pipeline for which the source was HTTP. You can click on that dataset. So from this site we picked up a file, and we target was like Azure data storage. From HTTP we copied the data and we put it into the our data store. So in this container output, you can see that file was populated. So this is the normal way how to create the pipeline, how to run it, and how to publish that pipeline. All the things are explained over here. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask me in the chat box. But I'll to again go given you the overview in ADF. Under pipeline, you can click over there, click new pipeline, and in the move and transform, copy data activity, populate over here, provide the source connections. If dataset is not created, then you need to create one for the target sync also. If dataset is not created, you have to create that dataset, and then you have to publish that pipeline, and then you have to run that pipeline. So this way, in this video, I have explained how to create the Azure Data Factory, how to create the dataset, source dataset, sync means target dataset, and how to run the pipeline. I hope you enjoy the video. If you have any questions, do let me know. Thank you so much.